You are looking live at the North Central Regional in the Windy City, where Elizabeth Akinwale has set 2 event records in 6 events. She has her sights on another in Chicago as the women of the North Central region get ready for the rope climbs and the squat cleans of event number 7. Meanwhile, in Salt Lake City, a 7th trip to the CrossFit Games on the line for Chris Spieler, and once again, it is not going to be easy for the legend. Plenty of people standing in his way. Meanwhile, Matt Chan on the right of your screen looking to win his region yet again. Live coverage from both regions next on the CrossFit Games Update. Hi everybody, welcome to a live edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Pat Sherwood and Nicole Christensen. We have 3 days almost in the books, 1 event to go now, and there are still going to be some very anxious moments for a lot of competitors and a lot of spectators out there.
Yeah, anxious to say the least. And the crowds are thick at the 2 regions that we're going live to, with the North Central and the Southwest. But when we look at the North Central women, a lot of the times we think, okay, North or Southern California, that's the thick competition. Stacey Tovar, Deborah Corner-Carson, and Elizabeth Akinwale placed 7th, 12th, and 13th at the games last year. This is as thick as the competition's going to get for that last event.
In North Central also, we have Justin Allen. He's been like a quiet professional, occupying first place, not flashy, but just getting it done. So can Nettie or Castlebrower kind of push him a little bit? It's been the Elizabeth Akinwale show. Now I just want to see what else she can do.
Yeah,
and then Southwest, Spiel versus Hathor. We're going to get to see all of that live. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we're going to start with the North Central women, where it has been 3 women dominating the competition from day 1. Here's a look back at the first 2 days of competition.
The women at the North Central Regional were hoping to pry the 3 spots in the CrossFit Games away from Elizabeth Akinwale, Deborah Corner-Carson, and Stacey Tovar. Those 3 came in as the heavy favorites to once again head to Carson, California. Akinwale showed why right out of the gates. She was the first woman to go sub 6 minutes in Jackie and set the event record with a time of 5:59. Deborah Corner-Carson was second, followed by Stacey Tovar in third. Akinwale would continue her early dominance in event 2. She got 2 successful reps at 195 pounds for her 2nd straight victory. Stacey Tovar would finish 2nd after getting 1 good rep at 195. Deborah Corner-Carson would rank 3rd with a final score of 185.2. Corner-Carson would get her first win of the competition in event 3. She was just one of 2 women in the region to complete the 30 burpee muscle-ups inside the 7-minute time cap. Corner-Carson got it done in 6 minutes 12 seconds and grabbed first place overall after 3 events. Jenny King would finish tied for 6th. That put her in 4th place overall, just 1 point back of Akinwale for 3rd. Stacey Tovar sat in 2nd place. Akinwale would be the only woman in the region to get through event 4 inside the 25-minute time cap. Her time of 23:17 was nearly 2 minutes faster than 2nd place Deborah Corner-Carson. It was Akinwale's 3rd win in 4 events. Stacey Tovar would finish 3rd with a time of 25:11. Akinwale was far from done. She would blaze through the deadlifts and box jump for event 5 and turn in her 2nd record-setting performance of the weekend. Akinwale's time of 2:45 beat the previous record by more than 20 seconds. It was also her 4th win in 5 events. Stacey Tovar turned in a time of 3:11 for 2nd place. Deborah Corner-Carson finished 3rd in 3:19. Heading into the final day, the top 3 remain the same.
So after 5 events, we have Deborah Corner-Carson with 11 points. She's in 1st place. Stacey Tovar in 2nd place with 14. And then Elizabeth Akinwale, despite all those wins, in 3rd. All these women have done impressive things over the past couple of days. But, I mean, Akinwale has really separated herself here, hasn't she?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt. And even though Deborah Corner-Carson was still finishing in 1st place, you know, as day 2 came to a close, you saw the trend with what Akinwale was doing. And you're like, I think Akinwale might actually be the fittest person in that region, even though Carson's on top, and she's just looking to make that happen now in day 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about that burpee muscle-up workout when she took 11th place, just how much she had to do in the other events. Yes, it's a weakness, but she's been able to counter that weakness tremendously with her performance in the other 5 or 4 events currently.
So where has Elizabeth Akinwale impressed you the most? I mean, is it just the pure strength, or is it the fact that she seems to be getting better at things that we may not have thought she was proficient at?
I mean, her fitness is incredible, hence why she's doing so well. But from talking to her on the phone, I mean, just what she has going on between her ears is just extremely impressive to me. She's calm, she's humble, and she's not worried because she's put in the time, she's put in the work, she has a plan, and she's just looking to execute that.
Yeah, and I think this is something we've seen with a lot of athletes this year that have kind of re-evolved. There's a lot more coaching on the scene now, a lot more interaction throughout the season about what athletes need to do to make sure that by the time they get to regionals, they're a well-rounded athlete rather than just being the strong girl or the girl that can do the gymnastic stuff. And so, again, we can't qualify athletes anymore as they're strong or they're gymnastics.
Well, Event 6 was on tap for the 3 leaders this morning at the North Central Regional. I'll take you to the highlights and show you how this played out as we head into Event 7. Day 3, Deborah Cordner-Carson, first place. After day number 2, she was in the middle of Stacy Tovar on the right of your screen, and then Elizabeth Akinwale in third place on the left of the screen. Akinwale got through the handstand push-ups very quickly and then didn't really separate herself until the toes to bar. She was pretty even with Deborah Cordner-Carson, but then once she got to that axle bar, she mauled that thing, got through her lunges, and then finished with a time of 10 minutes 13 seconds. Didn't win. That honor went to Megan John. She took first in the event with a time of 10 minutes 11 seconds. Stacy Tovar would finish in 5th, and then Deborah Cordner-Carson finishes in 7th place. It's only the second time in this whole event, for this whole competition, that these 3 women have not occupied the top 3 spots. So as we head into the final event of the competition, it's Akinwale finally moving into first place, but just by 1 point over Deborah Cordner-Carson. Stacy Tovar occupies that 3rd spot, and then this Ginny King, who at one point was in contention for this, is on the outside looking in. So now the question is really, where are these women going to finish in the top 3 as we head into event 7?
I think it'd be silly of us to think that Elizabeth Akinwale should not just run away with this event and then take first place in the overall competition. But again, we got to give credit to Deborah Cordner-Carson and Stacy Tovar that they're going to be right there in the mix. Only 2 points separate first through third. So is it possible that things will switch up? Absolutely. But we do know that Stacy Tovar, she struggled with some rope climbs in the past. So if she got better at those, we'll see where that plays out. And then Deb, she's been great, but I think we're going to see some touch-and-go cleans from Elizabeth Akinwale, and she's going to run away with it.
Akinwale was so impressive on event 6, right? And we talked about, you know, her being the fit girl, not the strong girl, and I know that. I'm going to talk about it for a living, but I still have it in my head. Right. And I watched her finish those handstand push-ups first, and I just started laughing to myself. I'm like, well, there it is happening, right? You know, good luck catching her now. And she also said she wanted to work on her pacing from last year. Event 6 would be a great workout to burn out and crash and die at the end of those lunges, but she didn't. Her pacing was beautiful, so she's a weapon this year.
Well, event 7 is on tap. We have squat cleans and rope climbs. It's going to be 4 rounds of 2 rope climbs and then 4 squat cleans at 135 pounds. And I'm thinking that Elizabeth Akinwale especially is looking at that weight going, I warm up with that. That's not going to be a big deal. Yeah,
she's probably warming up in the warm room with like 175, right, so that by the time she goes and does the 135, it just feels light as a feather. But, you know, we talked about where are you going to make up your time in this workout, on the run, on the squat clean, on the rope climb, and for Elizabeth, it's going to be on that squat clean.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking about this, you know, beforehand. It's like, you know, I want to have this cool, crazy prediction that wows everybody, but it's a fool's bet, right? Like, Elizabeth Akinwale, look at what she's done. How could I say anyone other than her is going to crush event 7? She's strong, she's fit, she can climb the rope, she can do it all, and I expect her to do exactly that.
Could Cordner-Carson push her here?
Oh, she will push her. She's admitted that she pushes her.
And that's something that's happened throughout this regional, is that those 3 women, part of the reason they're doing so incredibly well with their times and their scores, because they've pushed each other throughout the weekend.
We are ready for action in the city of Chicago in event number 7. The rope climbs and squat cleans await the top 3 women. Can Elizabeth Akinwale beat the world record? Let's send it out to Chase Ingram and Bill Grundler.
Our final 12 women have taken the floor as they prepare for the 7th and final event in this North Central Regional. Our top 3 women are set, barring a catastrophic collapse, but the battle is still to be had as each are separated by a single point. Your top women coming in right now, Elizabeth Akinwale with 17, Deborah Cordner-Carson with 18, and Stacy Tovar with 19, with Ginny King sitting just outside in that 4th place at 31. And in lane 12, in 12th place from CrossFit Chicago, that is Erin Cunningham. In lane 1, in 11th place, with 88 points from CrossFit Jenks, is Paige Millspaugh. In lane 11, sitting in 10th place, from CrossFit Warrenville, 36th out of the open, Michelle Weisenhofer. In lane 2, in 9th place, from River North CrossFit, Paige Steffen. In lane 10, in 8th place, from CrossFit Eclipse, that is Grace Drescher. And in lane 3, in 7th place, a Games vet from 2010 from CrossFit Rise, Jessica Scholes. In lane 9, in 6th place, from CrossFit Gambit, Kelly Jackson. In 5th place, also from CrossFit Jenks, that's 2 women in the final heat from the same gym, Christina Merlot. In lane 8, in 4th place, with 31 points from CrossFit OKC, Jenny King. Now in 3rd place, a Games vet since 2009, all the way through 2012 from CrossFit Omaha, Stacy Tovar. In 2nd place, Games vet 2011 and 12 with 18 points from CrossFit St. Paul, Deborah Cordner Carson. And your overall leader with 17 points, with 2 event records to her name this competition, from CrossFit Construct, Elizabeth Akinwale. Bill, we are about to get underway. This is the 7th and final event here at the North Central Regional. The races for first, 18 points. 2nd place, 19 third, 17 for first. The top 3 are in the middle. Elizabeth Akinwale, can she get that record set by Camille LeBlanc at 4:08?
You know, if anyone can do it, this is her race to do that. The 3 women, Stacy, Elizabeth, and Deborah, been battling all weekend long. But this right here is something that she is good at. If you look back at some of the records in 2011, they had the rope climb, clean and jerk ladder. She actually did really well in that. She was 11th out of the entire event. What worries me a little bit was Stacy Tovar in that same event was 43rd. So I don't know if it was a rope climb issue or if there was an injury at the time. But right there, she is hammering. I expect her to just crush this event.
Akinwale across the floor already. She'll start 4 squat cleans. Our event, the 7th and final one, we have 4 rounds. 2 rope climbs at 15 feet, sprint across the floor, 4 squat cleans at 135. They must move their bar once they are done before they can traverse back across.
Wow.
Elizabeth Akinwale, she's at 45 seconds. We've seen a lot of women being ahead of Camille's pace at 4:08 on the first round, but they haven't been able to keep it up the next 3.
That's right. You're going to see a difference in their pacing in that run. It's not really a sprint by the 3rd and 4th round, but it's impressive how much time Stacy made up on that clean. I would have expected Elizabeth to just hammer through it, but Stacy's right behind her, virtually going arm for arm. This is a battle between these 2 women.
Elizabeth Akinwale, she's first off the 2nd set of rope climbs, making her way back to the bar. She's followed by Stacy Tovar. Stacy made up a lot of time in those cleans. We're at that 1:30 mark. Elizabeth Akinwale, this isn't a heavy weight for her, but after all these events, it does take its toll.
You know, again, last year at the games, she won the clean ladder, so 135 pounds for her is no problem at all. But Stacy right there breaking it for the first time, but she's consistent. She's right behind Elizabeth too, so she's pushing her.
That's 2 rounds down. 1 more unbroken set for Elizabeth Akinwale. She's still ahead of the pace. Keep in mind, on their 4th and final set, they don't have to run across the court, so that's going to save them about 10 seconds. So she's on pace right now. followed by Stacy Tovar in second, but Elizabeth Akinwale, center screen. She has done her first set of her third round. Deborah Corner-Carson, she's fallen a little bit off the track. We have Kelly Jackson ahead of her, along with Grace Dresser.
You know, right here with Stacy, she's about a rope climb behind. It looks like she's struggling a little bit on the rope climb, and she's slowing down to where she's breaking up her cleans. Elizabeth Akinwale, what she's doing right now and being able to consistently go up the rope, she's moving swiftly on the run. Again, unbroken on the cleans. That is what she needs to do if she really wants to get another event record on this.
Elizabeth Akinwale, they have to do the cleans with their feet on the numbers. This is her third set. She went unbroken on the first two. It looks like she's going to go again for the next set of three. We're coming up on that 3-minute mark, so we are cutting it close. She has to get these and have a good last round if she's going to get that record set by Camille LeBlanc at 4:08.
Now what we heard is what Camille did was she went unbroken on the first 3 sets and broke up the last one. So right now, this is where, if anyone is going to go unbroken, it's this strong woman right here. Elizabeth Akinwale has the power to do this. Rope climbs are just going to be the time where she rests, and then she's going to hammer out those cleans.
At the clock, we're about 3:25, coming on 3:30. World record or event record was set at 4:08 by Camille LeBlanc. That's one rope climb down. She has one more. She's gonna have to pick up the pace if she wants that event record. The time to beat today was set by Bridget Alfield from CrossFit Fairfield at a time of 4:42. Now Elizabeth Akinwale, she is done with her last two. It's gonna be close. She's gonna have to push the pace here. She has about 20 seconds to get that final event record set by Camille LeBlanc. She's going unbroken, but I don't think she's gonna get it. It's gonna be close. And Elizabeth Akinwale will finish in first.
Wow.
It's not an event record, but it is the best time we've seen today. That is her 6th or her 5th first place finish in this competition, and Elizabeth Akinwale sets the bar high for the regionals we have left to go. Stacy Tovar, she was currently sitting in 3rd place, just 1 point behind Deborah Corner-Carson, so she, finishing up these reps, will actually move up into that 2nd spot. But behind her, we have Grace Drescher. She's finishing up her final reps as well. But it will be Stacy Tovar from CrossFit Omaha taking that 2nd spot, followed closely by Kelly Jackson. Behind her is Grace Dresser. That'll be good enough for 2nd overall. Deborah Corner-Carson, she's on her last set as well. We realize these athletes have been through a lot, so it's no surprise to see a few of them struggling here.
You know, Deborah, she's had a great weekend this whole time. She's been so consistent, placing so well in all of the events. But you can tell the weekend has definitely put a toll on her. Those weights get heavy. And even with the belt, she's still struggling. But again, those 3 win up at top. They're in such a strong position. This really isn't a concern for her. All she had to do was hang in there, and she did a great job.
Deborah Corner-Carson finishes up in an unofficial time of 5:42. We still have a few ladies left out on the floor. That will be Jenny King from CrossFit OKC in lane 8. She has finished up her 3rd set, moving on to her 4th. We're just past that 6-minute mark. There is a 10-minute cap on this workout. I don't think she's in danger of that. As our final women are finishing up.
You know what's impressive to me is we've seen all the other heats before this, and the form really is breaking down on a lot of those women, but these girls are solid. Their form is just so consistent all the way through. Great movement, keeping her knees out, keeping her chest up, fast elbows, keeping that bar up nice and high. That's what you need to do. You need to be efficient in these movements. Even though the weight's heavy, they're not collapsing, and that's really what's showing the fitness of a lot of these girls.
Jessica Scholes, Games vet from 2010, she finishes up her set. We still have one woman left to finish. That is Jenny King from CrossFit OKC. She's having some trouble with these rope climbs.
You know, it's hard. It's a lot of pulling, you know, and going from that rope climb to the having to pull that bar up, it's really, really tough. On top of all the 6 events that these women have had to deal with right here, you can see her shaking her arms out. She wants to get these last 4 reps in before that time. She got the crowd behind her. She's got all the athletes around her. It's great.
I want you guys to be able to hear and experience what this crowd is going to do for Jenny these last 4 reps. We're coming up on the 8-minute mark. She has 2 done, 2 left to go. She'll have to finish on the pad. She's going to close out these 2013 North Central Regionals with 1 final rep. With the help of the crowd and all competitors around her, that will do it. And Jenny King will end this fantastic competition we have seen over the last 3 days and 7 events. That will do it for the women. Your winner of event 7 and overall for this North Central event, Elizabeth Akinwale, just showing her true competitive,
dominance.
Absolute dominance.
You couldn't have asked for a better a better weekend from her. Again, muscle ups, we know were a little bit of a hindrance, but overall, no issues. So solid.
Stacy Tovar, she finished off very strong. We had some concerns about her pulling from the earlier events, but she turned it around. She came back strong this last day.
Solid. I mean, just very consistent. She did exactly what she needed to do. Deborah Cordner-Carson, same thing. I mean, those women have just been solid this whole time, and it's impressive to see those 3 women together over the past 3 years.
That will do it for us here for the women in event 7. The men will be coming up next here at the North Central Regional. Stay tuned.
Elizabeth Akinwale, not disappointing there. I mean, she just crushed that event, as we expected.
Yeah, she ran away with it, and given the field that she's competing against, how impressive is that? What stood out to me about what Elizabeth did was her rope climb specifically. You'll see a lot of the girls kind of wrap that rope around their leg a couple times. It's really secure, but it's a little bit slower.
Slow.
She just does that quick, pinch between the feet, and you need to be a little bit strong. It's a little less secure, but it's fast, and that's what she did.
Yeah, what really stood out to me is just her balance and how mentally prepared she was for this workout. At no point during the workout did she look like she was even struggling, and you play that out of the course the weekend. She did her lunges in event 6 in 1 set. We didn't see that from very many athletes. She was watching her judge to make sure her feet were in the right place. I mean, she was so prepared on so many different levels to just destroy this workout.
And she actually ran, which was awesome,
Yeah.
and she touch and go to all of them. How crazy is that?
Yeah, when we come back, we will hear from the 3 women who will be representing the North Central Regional at the CrossFit Games. Stay with us.
Hey guys, welcome to CrossFit headquarters. Let's take a look and see how things run on a regional weekend here. So this is actually the publishing and writing side of the house. All of our posts on .com, Twitter, Facebook, it all happens right here. All right guys, this is the IT and art department. This is the game side of the house. Whoa. All of our editing stations, producers, all the content comes in. These guys are doing the edits. Update show is actually getting ready to film, so you can see they've actually got the regionals streaming live. They're doing hair and makeup for the update show. This is actually where they switch between the live show at the desk and the regionals. We've got live streams coming in from all the regionals, and these guys are logging every event, what's going on, who's doing what, who's making moves. The only thing we can't show you is the games testing center. It's top secret. We can't let you on that stuff. So that's it. We'll see you guys this summer at the CrossFit Games.
Coming home. Definitely my favorite day. realize how much you miss home until you're told you can't go back. I want to get back to gymnastics. I want to compete again. I want to get back to CrossFit. I want to go back to school. I want to graduate. You know, all those kind of things.
Welcome back to our live CrossFit Games update show. Elizabeth Akinwale has just racked up another victory. It was actually Stacy Tovar who pushed her for first place, not Deborah Cordner-Carson like we thought.
We talked about Stacy's rope climbs in the past. Those were different rope climbs that we saw today. They were efficient, they were compact, and that's why she was able to hang with Elizabeth and take second place in that workout.
Let's send it back out to Chicago, where the three women who will be representing this region at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games are standing by.
And Amanda is down on the floor with our top three women of the North Central Regional. To you, Amanda.
Chase, thanks so much. And I just have to say, congratulations to all of you. Elizabeth, are you okay? You've been through so much this weekend, but my goodness, are you inspiring. And speaking of inspiration, let's start with you, Deb. That's part of what drives you to do this sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it's the number one thing that drives me. I said before, there's people I don't know that email me and are inspired by what I go through just with my lymphedema and inspires them to do something greater in their lives. And that's one of the main reasons I came another year. I was like, this is great. I can touch somebody's life and change their life. And I can change like a little piece of the world by myself. That's awesome. So yeah.
And you are going back to the games once again.
Yeah. I am going back. I'm excited to go back with these two girls. I've 3 years in a row. It's us three, and it feels good. I feel like we are going to represent very big time at the games. North Central's pretty tough.
I think you guys definitely proved that this weekend. Deb, thanks so much. Stacy, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've just been talking about what a relief it is to have this weekend out of the way.
You can say relief with capital letters and an exclamation point over and over and over again. Oh, I feel like a huge weight is off my shoulder. Sorry.
It's okay. You've been through a lot. How does this weekend, this regionals experience compared to your others?
Had I been 100%, I would thank Castro over and over again, because I think of all years, this would have been it again. I think the programming was right for me. It's unfortunate I'm battling an injury the way I am. I can't believe I pulled off second. It is a miraculous thing what adrenaline can do. And when everybody else around you, when they say they hardly noticed, I mean, wow, it just amazes me.
Well, you amaze so many people in return. Stacy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Elizabeth Akinwale, we have talked a lot this weekend, haven't we? Congratulations. You are going back to the games. I want to talk with you about the road from here to the games and what your game plan is. You knew you were going to be a strong competitor. No, you're fine.
Just train hard. Like, although this is important to me, this process, the objective is to qualify through. And if you consider yourself a top athlete in the world stage, then this should just be a compulsory exercise. Excuse me, I just learned a lot this weekend, good and bad, and sorry.
Take a drink if you need to.
More of the same, I think. More of the same. I mean, I feel like from my performance this weekend, things are going in the right direction, and I'm just excited to have a few more months to prepare.
Elizabeth, fantastic weekend. So amazing to watch you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chase?
Congratulations to all three ladies. Up next, it'll be the men's turn. For Bill Grundler, I'm Chase Ingram, and we're going to send it back to Sean Woodland at the CrossFit Games studio.
Well, thanks, Chase. So Elizabeth Akinwale, can she contend now at the games for one of the top 3 spots?
Yes, she can, and that's what I'm looking forward to, because you go and you dominate your region, that's amazing. But we're going to have all those most dominant athletes at the games. She's going to be there with Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, with Sam Briggs, with Annie if she's healthy. I mean, we're going to get to see her. She said she's considered herself an athlete on the world stage, and how cool of a line was that? She's like, if that's what you think you are, the regionals should just be, what'd you say, a compulsory exercise. And so her head is already to the big prize.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that we kind of saw her moving toward that top 3 podium position potential last year at the games. She's done everything she needs to do to prime herself to go that direction this year, and she just put on display at regionals.
Yeah, over on the men's side in the North Central region, a man who contended last year at the games was looking to make his way back to Carson. Here's a look back at the first 5 events for the men's competition.
Kyle Kasperbauer showed up at the North Central Regional looking to prove that his 3rd place finish at the games last year was no fluke. Kasperbauer wasted no time. He took the win in Jackie with a time of 5:07. That was 3 seconds faster than 2nd place Jared Stevens. Kasperbauer would fall back into the pack in event 2. He overhead squatted 265 3 times and would tie for 17th. Sam Dancer would get the win. He got 2 reps at 295 pounds to beat Brandon Pastoric by 1 lift. Jared Stevens would come up with the best time in event 3. That would put him in 3rd place overall heading into the weekend. Justin Allen sat in 2nd, with Brandon Pastoric atop the overall leaderboard with 14 points. Kasperbauer would fall further back in the standings after event 4. A 6th place tie would drop him down 1 spot in the overall standings. The win would go to Philip Kniep with a time of 22:56. Overall leader Brandon Pastoric would finish 8th and stay in 1st overall. Kasperbauer would climb into the top 3 on the overall leaderboard in event 5. He would tie for 2nd with Justin Allen with a time of 4:13. Alex Nettie would get the win with a final time of 4:04. Pastoric finished 21st and dropped to 4th overall.
So after 2 days, Kyle Kasperbauer sits solidly in 3rd place. He didn't dominate the Open. He's not dominating his region, so is he still a force to be reckoned with?
I think he is. I mean, we've seen examples of this in past years. You know, Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, she didn't win her region last year, and she went on to do beautifully at the games. I think it's one of those things where some athletes perform really well at the regional level. Some athletes kind of, they get where they need to be, and then the real stage for them is at the CrossFit Games. And I think Kyle's going to move just great into that position, and he'll be fine once he gets to the games.
Yes, he is still a force. He is still a threat. You know, after Jackie, it was kind of downhill. I know he was very disappointed with where he sat, but I spoke with his coach, Joe Westerland, out of CrossFit Omaha, and he just said, quite frankly, look, we know Kyle is the fittest person in this region, and we're going to start moving him in that direction and prove it. So they're out for blood, man.
Well, he showed up today in event number 6 looking to get his 2nd win of the competition and solidify his hold on one of the top 3 spots and get himself back to Carson, California. The top competitors in front of him, Alex Nettie and Justin Allen. Kyle Kasperbauer there. Kasperbauer, 3rd place after 5 events, setting the pace early on the toes to bar, and he would finish well ahead as he dominated this event. Kasperbauer will win with a time of 9 minutes, 29 seconds. Alex Nettie would finish with a time of 9 minutes and 52 seconds. Meanwhile, Justin Allen struggled slightly. He would finish in 7th place as that axle bar slowed a lot of those top athletes down, and he was definitely one of them. So after 6 events, heading into the final event of the day, just 1 point separating the top 3. And then after that is Brandon Pastoric. He needs to do a lot of work to get himself into contention. So Kasperbauer, Alex Nettie, and then Justin Allen. 2 names in there we know a little bit about, but there's some newcomers here now.
Well, Kyle did exactly what he needed to do, and Nettie, I got to give him a shout out. We talked to him yesterday, and he said he'd been working on those handstand push-ups. They're no longer a weakness, and he was the 2nd one done with them, so he's executing his plan on day 3.
Yeah, and if you look at, you know, again, it's kind of the same thing from the women's side. These 3 are going to be your 3 games qualifiers. Just what order are they going to finish in?
And can Kyle Kasperbauer get another win and close out his regional in a strong fashion? Let's send it out to Bill Grundler and Chase Ingram in Chicago with a call of the final heat for the final event for the men at the North Central Regional.
The race for the podium is nearly complete, and it will be a win or lose scenario as the top men are only separated by a single point. Justin Allen, Kyle Kasselbauer, and Alex Nettie are locked together at the top, but Stevens, Pastoric, and Burke look to rattle their cages in this 7th and final event. In lane number 12, sitting in 12th place from Iron Major CrossFit, that is Jacob Hepner. In lane 1, in 11th place, 44th coming out of the open from CrossFit AMRAP, Josh Silvernail. In lane 11, sitting in 10th from CrossFit OKC, Cameron Rosenau. In lane 2, in 9th place from Hardware CrossFit with a fantastic t-shirt, George Fairley. In lane number 10, in 8th place from CrossFit Lincoln, a Games vet in 11 and 12, Philip Kneep. In lane 3, in 7th place, also from CrossFit OKC, Drew Heimer. In lane 9, in 6th place, the man that has been charging up the leaderboard from CrossFit 402, Duke Burke. And in lane 4, in 5th place with 53 points from CrossFit 417, Jared Stevens. In lane 8, in 4th place with 52 points, a Games vet from 2009 and 2011 from CrossFit Viz 1, Brandon Pastoric. In lane 5, in 3rd with 34 points, the hometown favorite from CrossFit Chicago, Alex Nettie. And in lane 7, in 2nd place, also with 34 points, the 3rd fittest man in the world from 2012 from CrossFit Omaha, Kyle Kasperbauer. In lane 6, your overall leader, a Games veteran from 2012, in 1st place by a single point from CrossFit Bellator, Justin Allen. The athletes are getting set on their starting blocks. This is it. This is the final event of the weekend. And the men will start. We've got 4 rounds, 2 15-foot rope climbs, a 100-foot run across the floor into 4 squat cleans at 225 pounds. The race is in the middle. Justin Allen at 33 points only has a 1-point lead on Nettie and Kasperbauer, and Kasperbauer is out of the gate strong. He wants to take that top spot today.
You know, he's got a real good momentum happening right now, and he's going touch and go with his cleans. That's going to be huge for him. Wow, he puts it down. I'll tell you what, he has been doing great, and he's been consistently getting better, and that's exactly what he needs to put that stamp saying, hey, the 3rd place guy is here.
Jared Stevens in the white trunks, Alex Nettie in the yellow shirt in the center lane. Justin Allen, Kyle Kasperbauer, he's done with this 4. Jared Stevens is done with this 4. It's gonna be a race. All these men are going to chase the time to beat today. 4:51 by Nick Bloch, but I know they want more than that. They're gonna try to get Spencer Hendel's hit time of 4:11 set in the Northeast 2 weeks ago.
Right there, you can see some of these athletes, again, taller athletes, and they're really pulling their knees up to their chest, trying to get as much distance as they can.
Josh Silvernail, coming out of lane 1, has come off the ropes first, but he's walking to the bar, trying to gather himself. These cleans are tough for him. So there's a tie right now for the top 4 spots in this heat. Kasperbauer, Stevens, Silvernail, and Rosenau.
You know, all these guys are deciding to go unbroken. I think that's a smart move. They want to stay consistent. The last thing they want to do is have a missed rep or a failed rep is even worse. But you can see all of them are staying nice and solid, good, strong foundations. And there goes Jared and King Kyle. These guys have been at each other this whole competition.
Jared Stevens and Kyle Kasperbauer. Kasperbauer sprinting across the court. They're just past that 2-minute mark. Josh Silvernail is slowly behind him, but he's walking back and forth, so it looks like the race is going to be between Jared Stevens in lane 4 and Kyle Kasperbauer in lane 7.
Right there, Jared Stevens shows what a tall athlete can do on the rope. He really pulls his knees up high. He's doing this whole rope climb in 2 pulls, and that's exactly what he needs to do to make up distance on Kyle Kasperbauer, which he just did.
Jared Stevens is now in the lead, coming up to our 3rd round of 3 squat cleans at 2:25. Kasperbauer closing in behind him as Alex Nettie and Brandon Pistoric make their way to the rope.
You know, one of the strong points with Jared is he's just very strong. He was down the OC Throwdown in California, and this was one of his stronger events, was the clean. So this 225 is not a problem for him. He's a solid, very strong athlete.
Jared Stevens starting his 3rd rep. He now has 1 more. Kasperbauer behind him in the black shorts is trying to keep pace, but it looks like Jared Stevens will finish his 4th rep. He'll move to the 4th round platform, and he will be off to his final round just past that 3:10 mark. So he has about 1 minute if he's going to try to match that event record set by Spencer Hendel at 4:11.
He's moving so smooth. Again, the rope climb for him is going to be quick 2 pulls. Look at that, right to the rope. Pulls his feet up. He's not hesitating at all. He wants this. He needs to show the crowd that, you know what, I wasn't in the top 3 for the majority of this for no reason. He wants to put a stamp on this to show everyone what he's got.
Jared Stevens on his final rope climb. Kasperbauer having a little trouble on the rope. And here comes Jared Stevens. He has 30 seconds to get that event record set by Spencer Hendel at 4:11. If he goes unbroken here, he has a shot.
Again, so strong. 225 is not an issue, but it's going to be like, how fast can he go? How much time does he wait for that bar to start bouncing? Doesn't wait at all. We're so strong right now.
Just past that 4-minute mark. Jared Stevens 2 reps down. He has 2 more to go. Kasperbauer is trying to join him, but it's not going to happen because this man right here, Jared Stevens, will be your heat and event winner at a time of 4:16.
Wow. Great job by Jared. He did not slow down on that at all.
Kyle Kasperbauer, 2nd place so far in this heat, 2nd so far in the region. If he finishes here, he will do enough to take, not just solidify 2nd, but take away that 1st place position from the man in black, Justin Allen.
It looks like Justin and Phil Kniepp getting to the bar at the same time. Who's going to move that weight? It's so heavy at this point. It feels like it's so heavy, but they're moving it. They're all doing singles.
Josh Silvernail sneaks in there out of lane 1. What an amazing story for this guy. He was coming out of the open in 44th place.
Wow. You show the difference in the program between the open and the regionals right there.
Philip Kniepp and Cameron Rosenau, they're going rep for rep here at the end. Philip Kniepp had a very, very rough day 1, but in the last 3 events, he took 5th, 5th, and 2nd. He really charged up the leaderboard from 30th to about 5th place. And that'll do it for Philip Kniepp. He is done. Followed closely by Justin Allen. Now that was enough because Justin is just ahead of Alex Nettie, who has yet to finish. Alex Nettie was sitting in 3rd place with 34 points. He needs to finish here to make sure he solidifies that spot to the CrossFit Games.
You know, I think they've given themselves enough of a buffer to be safe, but again, he doesn't want to hold or wait too long. He walked onto the podium or walked onto the mat there, but you know what? I think that's going to be enough just to kind of keep them protected.
Just past the 6-minute mark, a good shot at Justin Allen and the rest of the field. Jacob Hepner, he's made a lot of moves in the last 3 events to get to this final heat. Him and Cameron Rosenau from CrossFit OKC. And you can just see what these cleans are doing to these guys. And we said the weight itself for these athletes isn't heavy on a normal day, but after 6 events, it takes its toll on them.
After 6 events and a lot of that back work, you know, they've been destroying their back all day long, and from all the regionals, including our own, that's the one thing that everyone's been talking about, is how much destruction you feel on your backside. So this normal 225, which wouldn't be a big deal, now is a big deal. When you see athletes that are this fit and this strong that are failing underneath the bar like that, you can just see how hard the weekend's been on them.
And Cameron Rosenau will close out this final heat with one final rep in the crowd behind him. All these athletes celebrating with each other. They know they are done, and they have come a long way to get here.
You know, these guys are happy that they're finally done here.
Jared Stevens takes this heat with an unofficial time of 4:16. So we saw the battle for 1, 2, and 3 go down between Justin Allen, Kyle Kasserbauer, and Alex Nettie. They were only separated by 1 single point, and Kyle Kasserbauer did do enough to move him up into that final first place position. But Jared Stevens stole the show by winning this final event, proving that he is able to hang with the big dogs. He has the ability to get into those top 3. He just had a few slip-ups along the way, which you know he's going to clean up and bring it next year.
He is going to be just an amazingly tough athlete to beat next year, without a doubt. Especially this is going to get him extremely hungry.
That'll be Kyle Kasserbauer taking second in this event, but he has taken first overall. We don't have the final standings in front of us, but him, Alex Nettie, and Justin Allen are going to be your top 3 men representing the North Central region at the CrossFit Games. What an amazing performance. There, you hear the cheers for Alex Nettie. He's a hometown guy. He's worked really hard to get to this position. 4th in 2011, 10th in 2012. You know he's wanted this real bad. You saw him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was, what, 5 reps away from getting
5 reps away. Yeah, he's always been kind of hanging on the outside, but you know, this year he's definitely showed just a ton of improvement. Impressive job overall, without a doubt.
And that'll close it out for event 7 of the men. We will be back soon, but to the studio with Sean Woodland. He'll recap today's events, and we'll come back next with our winners.
Thanks, Jay. So we nearly saw a new event record, but we did see a newcomer get into the games. Alex Nettie, who has tried so hard, is now finally over the hump, but he has some holes in his game.
Let's not be too harsh on him. Some holes in his game. I mean, he's still top 3. He said the squat cleans were going to be tough for him, but hey, he's going to out to LA, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, and when we look at what his past has been with the handstand push-ups, that he's worked on that for the past 2 years to get to this place. I have no doubt that he's going to spend the next couple months working on that squat clean, and who knows what he can do in 2 months to fix that weakness.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will hear from the 3 men who are representing the North Central Regional at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games.
It's kind of like a workout. You get loaded with homework assignments and projects, and you just tell yourself, oh, I just gotta chip through it one at a time, one assignment at a time. 3, 2, 1, go! No matter how slow you'll eventually get it done. Are you coming back next year?
As of now, no. This is going to be the last decided to retire. He's been extremely helpful.
Yeah, but I'm going to grab a mail real quick.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Dive back. I got it. Real. On it. What am I gonna do with all this fitness?
Welcome back to our live coverage of this final day of the third regional weekend. I'm Sean Woodland with Pat Sherwood and Nicole Christensen. We just watched the North Central men take on event number 7. It was a slow climb for Kyle Kasserbauer to the top. He got there. What does he look to do now as he heads to the games?
I think this is just the perfect wake-up call that Kyle maybe needed. He won his region, and if you look at the after the workout, he didn't look that happy. So I think this is probably a great place for him to be in right now. He needs to kind of figure out what he needs to do in the next couple of months so that he doesn't have a games like he had a regional, and he stays more at the top from right out the gates.
There's a big mental side to winning as well, and like I said, he started off after Jackie, not where he wanted to be. You could see it in his face. He was frustrated. But I think winning event 6, taking a first in that, was a huge positive mental boost that he needed to finish strong on day 3. And even the interview after event 6, you know, when the interviewer was like, hey, what do you need to work on? He's like, I need to work on everything. So he knows what he needs to do, and he's going to put in the time.
The 3 men who will be heading out to Carson, California for the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games are standing by. Let's go back out to Chicago at the North Central Regional.
And we just witnessed a ferocious finish to the final 3. Amanda is down on the floor with those men, and those men sitting next to her are Kyle Kasserbauer, Alex Nettie, and Justin Allen.
All right, Chase, thanks so much. Alex, we're going to start with you. Congratulations. First of all, you're going to the games, man.
How about that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable feeling. A lot of training and hard work went into it, but here we are. So can't believe you said that. It sounds incredible to hear those words.
Well, we're so proud of you. You were so fun to watch this weekend. We can just tell you're so excited about this sport. And first of all, I give you the best award for fashion this weekend. But yeah, you're in that moment right now where you're going to the games.
Right. It definitely hasn't sunk in yet. It's about 5 minutes old, so I got to process it a little bit. Maybe go celebrate with my community. But again, it's incredible to hear those words out of your mouth, and I can't believe it.
We're so happy for you.
Thanks.
Justin, you are going back to the games.
Yes.
Now, when we came into this competition this weekend, it really feels like the guys were all over the place, the top competitors after the Open. So what did you think coming into this, how you were going to have to perform to be on top?
Well, I told myself I needed top 5 to win. I needed top 5 in each workout to win. Well, that didn't happen, so I think I was top 10 in each workout. It got me to the game. So I know our region's pretty tough. We've got a lot of legit competitors, so I just try to take it one workout at a time. That's all you can do.
So Justin, you're going back to the games. Yeah. What would you like to prove this time around?
I'd like to make it to the final day as a short-term goal. Prove that it wasn't a fluke the first time. I made it back. Now I want to, the first time you make it, it's kind of like you're happy to be there. You're taking it all in. This time I want to actually go make a statement, place in the top 15, 10 or 15. So.
Well, best of luck to you. And good job this weekend. All right, finally we're going to talk to Kyle. Kyle, congratulations. You're going back to the games.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend, finding a lot about my training personally, but I need to do a lot more, and again, going for it all.
What specifically are you thinking that you need to work on between now and the games?
I just need to work a little bit more mobility personally, but then also a lot of volume in general, and just everything else to kind of set itself in with my strength. So yeah.
So you're the 3rd fittest man in the world from the 2012 games.
Yeah.
Are you setting your goals any higher this time around?
Yeah, I set my bar pretty high last year. But obviously, if anybody qualifies for the games and doesn't think that they want to win, or if their goal isn't to win, then why are you even going? So
absolutely,
that's my perspective on it.
Goal is to win. Period. Kyle, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Chase, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, that will bring the 2013 CrossFit Games North Central Regional to a close. Congratulations to our top 3 teams, women and men, for proving their fitness here at the North Central. Now they get to move on as the fittest around the world are waiting for them in Carson, California. For all official results and final standings, visit games.crossfit.com. For Bill Grundler, I'm Chase Ingram. We want to thank you for joining us. That will do it for us here in Chicago. For more coverage of the Southwest, stay tuned right here.
So the third fittest man from 2012 is back in the games. But still, when you think about the people who have a chance to maybe make a run at Froning, is he still, is he top 2 or 3 up there?
Yeah, well, as Kyle Kasserbauer stands right now, gut feeling, no, he's not going to beat Rich Froning. And I think he knows that as well, which is why he said, like, hey, let's bring it on. He's like, no, I have a lot of work to do, and it probably starts tomorrow.
And I think one thing that I loved about what Kyle just said is that if you go to the CrossFit Games and you don't have that vision, that expectations that you're going to do as best as you possibly can and take that first place podium, then what are you doing there? So is he counting himself out mentally? Absolutely not. He's going to have a run for the podium, but maybe not that first place spot.
Well, the team competition wrapped up earlier in the day in Chicago, and it was really a battle between 3 teams from the first time they said go on Friday. CrossFit Kilo, CrossFit 515, and Quad Cities CrossFit battled all weekend long for those top 3 spots. At the beginning of day 3, CrossFit Kilo set the pace early in event 6, but they struggled to maintain that momentum. CrossFit 515 would take advantage, and they would take the lead. They finished in first place with a time of 9 minutes and 52 seconds. Kilo and Quad Cities, the 2 teams that are trying to get back to the games. Kilo actually finished in 8th place. CrossFit 515 trying to join them there for the first time. Moving on to event number 7, it was all CrossFit Kilo. They dominated the field. They finished event 7 in first place with a time of 14 minutes, 45 seconds. So CrossFit Kilo, CrossFit 515, and Quad Cities CrossFit, all representing the state of Iowa, and they're all heading to Carson, California for the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. Final leaderboard, we will show that a little bit later when we go through the official results, but this team competition was really like never in doubt, like some of the other ones we've seen.
Right, and I mean, it pretty much stayed the same throughout the entire weekend. CrossFit Kilo is making its 2nd trip back to the games after being there in 2012. They've got a nice little husband-wife team within their larger team of 6 with Armand McCormick and Sarah, his wife. And so, yeah, I think they're pretty happy where they're sitting.
And they had a great moment in the sun. I mean, briefly, they were the event record holder for event number 7, but somebody from Southwest decided that needed to change.
Yeah.
But they're obviously, they put in the work.
So the field is now set from the North Central Regional. Here's a look at your qualifiers for the men, the women, and the teens. We just saw the 3 men who were going to the games earlier. It was Elizabeth Akinwale, Stacy Tovar, and Deborah Cordner-Carson locking up the top 3 spots. And then in the team competition, it's CrossFit Kilo, Quad City CrossFit, and then CrossFit 515, CrossFit Kilo, the only team in there underneath 20 points. And like you said, they did have a moment in the sun for about 5 minutes for an event record holder.
And if you're on that leaderboard anywhere, you need to be happy and celebrated. But my favorite thing about that, Alex Nettie, man, I'm a huge fan. I just got to give him a shout out. You know, he's been a student of the game, been trying to go since 2009. So for 5 years, he's been working on his weaknesses, and he's just a success story. You know, it pays off.
Yeah, I mean, again, one of those stories where we've seen it in every single region where it's kind of the year of the upset. Some new names are coming on board, and a lot of these new names have done something over the past couple years to really just bring their game up that last little notch to help them qualify.
When we come back, we'll head to the Southwest region where Chris Spieler is trying to make a run at a 7th trip to the CrossFit Games. We'll also have live coverage from the final women's event. Stay with us.
The same way that CrossFitters have taken fitness to a new level, we do the same thing with the equipment. Since being involved,
owning affiliates. Rogue Fitness gear has made a gym owner's life that much better.
With CrossFit, they know what they want. And because we keep the work local in our shop, I can make based on their demands right away.
We do have Rogue equipment. People look for that when they look at a gym. If it says Rogue on it, that's the mark of quality equipment.
There's kind of like two pieces to rock crawling that's really fun. Go slow, crawling over rocks and stuff is really technical. The other side is to be able to go flying through the desert really fast. We've got a good cycle CrossFit going on, and I don't feel so guilty from that.
Hey, Tyson, what's up? Mars? Diablo chicken. Hey, Pat.
The CrossFit Games Update Show is brought to you in part by Progenics, the official performance nutrition sponsor of the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games.
It's a live look at the Olympic Oval in Salt Lake City, where the women are getting set to take on event number 7, and then we'll transition over to the men. So we talk about the women, and it's much like that North Central men's field, where you have a group of ladies who are all trying to take that next step, and now some of them are actually doing it in that region.
Yeah, and this one has a little bit more depth than what we've seen with, like, for the North Central, where we've got Emily Moore sitting there in 4th place. She's not out of contention. She needs a couple things to happen. She needs to have a really good last workout. But again, depth of the field is a little bit bigger, and we have no cut, so wide open in some cases.
The happiest woman in the region right now, after 6 events, has to
Starts
be
with a
Natalie.
T?
Has to be
Oh,
Natalie
yeah,
McLean. Because she finally, had a big. She moved herself into that top 3. So for her, today is a huge fight if she wants to have her first trip to the games.
We've seen some pretty impressive performances, too, from these ladies. It's not like they've just kind of sneaked in.
No, not at all. I mean, and we talked about what Natalie needed to do. She is on I think she stands 5'1". She's put on a good bit of mass this year to help her move some of those heavier loads, and she knew that's what she needed to do. She had the strength in a lot of the handstand push-ups and the toes to bar, but really we look at the box jump deadlift workout and today's event 6 being pivotal for her in terms of she took 2nd place in today's event 6, which is exactly what she needed to do to move her into that 2nd place spot. Obviously, the big thing left out there is how are those squat cleans, because those are going to be right around maybe 10 pounds more than her body weight.
And mixed in there, with the new girls, you've got the veteran, Becky Conzelman. I mean, she's been in this situation before. She's mentally as tough as they come. But speaking about mental toughness, Tiffany Hendrickson, last year, she's occupying the 1st spot right now, but last year she took 5th at her regional with like a dislocated or something was wrong with her rib, causing her extreme pain, and still took 5th. On top of that, been doing gymnastics since 4, got a scholarship to Boise State doing gymnastics. So I don't think anyone's going to unseat her right now.
We went through 5 events in the first 2 days of competition. Here's a look at how things played out on Friday and Saturday.
The 2013 Southwest Regional Competition started exactly like it did last year. Natalie McLean, who won the opening event in 2012 in the Southwest, came up with a first-place performance in Jackie. McLean clocked a time of 6:07, 11 seconds faster than 2nd place Tiffany Hendrickson. Hendrickson would follow that finish up with a win in event 2. She was able to get 3 good lifts at 190 pounds. Whitney Capalucci and Colleen Marr finished tied for 2nd. They both got 2 reps at 190. Only one woman in the region was able to complete the 30 burpee muscle-ups inside the 7-minute time cap. That was Emily Moore. Her time of 6:43 gave her first place in event 3. Both Tiffany Hendrickson and Becky Conzelman finished tied for 2nd at 7:05. That finish put Hendrickson in first place overall. Conzelman sat in 2nd with Natalie McLean in 3rd. After winning event 4, Lindsay Cascarena would complete the day 2 sweep in event 5. She would get the win with a time of 3:32. Meanwhile, Tiffany Hendrickson would solidify her hold on the top spot on the leaderboard with a second place finish at 3:34.
So after 2 days, we had Tiffany Hendrickson in first. Lindsay Cascarena sat in second after winning both events on Saturday, and then it was Becky Konzelman trying to hold off Natalie McLean by just 1 point.
Lindsay Cascarena was kind of the story of the day, right? Yeah, I mean, looking at all the regions that have gone previously, we always just made this point, like day 2, 2 incredibly diverse workouts. If you do well, you know, you have to be one of the people that's in serious contention to just run away with that region. And she had 2 first-place finishes.
Right, but we know that the handstand push-ups didn't go as well for her today as she would have liked. But if Alex Netty's any good example or role model for her, she knows that exactly what she might need to do over the course of this year to come back and make those two first places have a little bit more depth to them. It
really seems when we see these new names sort of show up on top of the leaderboard that they all come in and they have some deficiencies. I mean, they're not completely well-rounded yet.
Well, that's the beauty of the sport in a way, right? There's so much depth to this sport. We've got a variety of different movements. We've got the bodyweight movements, the weightlifting, the precision that's involved in a lot of what we do. And then really you can look at every single athlete and how from toes to bar. You can break down a toes to bar and make it twice as efficient. You talked about Elizabeth Akinwale, how fast her butterfly pull-ups are. Well, lots of athletes in the field have those butterfly pull-ups. Just how efficient are they? And so when you look at it, there's a lot to be good at. And some people, yeah, they're going to come in and a few things are going to click, but really it's a lot of hard work.
And the unique thing about our sport is that there's kind of no mastery of what we do because you're expected to excel in so many different areas, modalities, you know, body weight movements, weightlifting, running, whatever it happens to be, that the separation at the top, like the best of the best, is if you can ask the Rich Fronings, the Jen Joneses, the whoever's, and they'll tell you they have weaknesses, things that they're not good at. But the difference is they've put in so much time that even with their weaknesses, they'll beat the overwhelming majority of the field with the workout that it's not in their wheelhouse because they've put in the time, they've made an honest self-assessment, and they've fixed it.
And I think what's the saying is, you know, CrossFit gives you infinite things to suck at. So just when you get good at something, something else pops up on the radar.
Well, after back-to-back wins on Saturday, Lindsay Cascarena showed up this morning to try to take on event 6 and continue that momentum and solidify a spot in the top 3. The competitors taking the floor at the Olympic Oval in Salt Lake City. Emily Moore was 5th place after 5 events. She sets the standards and finishes event 6 in first place with a time of 10 minutes 21 seconds. Meanwhile, Natalie McLean helping her cause, trying to stay in contention. She would finish in second, so McLean setting herself up very well now heading into event 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great example of an athlete who addressed a weakness. She powered through those shoulder overheads, both her and Emily. I mean, it's just efficiency and motion with the overhead.
And we talk about athletes who might have some holes in their games. Well, Lindsay Cascarena, after winning both events on Saturday, comes in and finishes 26th in event number 4. She struggled on those body weight movements, so after 6 events, it's Hendrickson still in first place by herself. McLean and Konzelman now tied with 33 points. Emily Moore 8 points back, so she needs to not only do well, but she's going to need a ton of help here in event 7.
Yeah, Emily Moore, exactly. She needs to do well, and she needs several other people not to do well and potentially even get beaten by previous heats. But Emily Moore, so happy to see her rock that event. I lived in Denver for a couple of years, worked out at Verve, that's where she goes, and so I know her as a local badass that's always been close in competitions, but to see her take an event, I mean, it kind of solidifies where she's going.
And really, there's a lot of gymnasty girls in that top heat. You know, you look at your Natalie McLean, your Emily Moore, they're all good at gymnastics movements. So the first half of that workout really didn't separate them. Emily Moore, when she got to that shoulder overhead, I mean, she cycled through them faster than Elizabeth Akinwale did over in her region, and then really just ran away with it on the lunges.
And Tiffany Hendrickson obviously is an athlete that's very aware of her strengths and weaknesses, because when we spoke with her yesterday, she said on event 6, the overhead's going to be the toughest part. Look for me to do very small sets and try to rest a little bit, but you know, I'm not going to run away with the event, and that is exactly what happened. So if her prediction holds true, she should do just fine in event 7.
Event 7 is on tap. 4 rounds, 2 rope climbs, and then the heavy squat cleans at 135 pounds really fast. Who do we expect to see do well in this?
I'm going Emily Moore again. You know, I'm sorry, I got to make a Denver Verve pick.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Natalie McLean's going to hold her own. I think she's going to keep her spot. She'll keep a spot. 1, 2, or 3, not sure there, but she's going to take 1.
Well, let's send it out to the Olympic Oval in Salt Lake City. Justin Judkins and Josh Everett standing by with a call.
Thanks, Rory, and welcome everybody to day 3 of the Southwest Regional. This is the event we have waited for all weekend. This is the 7th event for the women's competition here at the Utah Olympic Oval, and we are literally sitting on ice. This is where several skating events were held at the 2002 Winter Olympic Games, but it is also where the 12 women in heat number 4 will put it all on the line for a chance to qualify for the games in July. The atmosphere is electric. The crowd has gotten into it. The competition this weekend has been fierce. The women are now making their final preparations as they get the chalk on the barbell, chalk on the hands, make the mental preparations to start climbing that rope. This is a nice little couplet that these women are facing for event number 7. Before we describe the workout, let's meet the women in this heat. In lane number 12, in 12th place, is Bobby Heaney from Murray, Utah. She works out at Tecton CrossFit. Her highest finish on the weekend was on the burpee muscle-up workout. In lane number 1, in 11th place, is Cynthia Arangua from Boulder, Colorado. She trains at CrossFit Roots, placed 5th on the deadlift and box jump workout. In lane number 11, in 10th place, is Colleen Marr from Denver, Colorado. She trains at Front Range, Colorado. She's our youngest female competitor, and she won this regional last year. In lane number 2, in 9th place, is Anna Schumacher from Cedar City, Utah. She trains at CrossFit Cedar City. She was a college gymnast on the same team as Telena Fortunato. In lane number 10, in 8th place, is Lori Smith from Colorado Springs, Colorado. She trains at CrossFit SoCo and represented the USA in the 2008 Summer Olympic Games as a hammer thrower. In lane number 3, in 7th place, is Megan Sweet from Scottsdale, Arizona. She placed 22nd in the Southeast Regional last year. In lane number 9, in 6th place, is Ashley Miller from Reno, Nevada. She trains at CrossFit Black and Blue, and this is her first regional competition. In lane number 4, in 5th place, is Lindsay Cascarina from Fort Collins, Colorado. She trains at CrossFit North Fort Collins and won both events yesterday. In lane number 8, in 4th place, is Emily Moore from Denver, Colorado. She trains at CrossFit Verve. She's had 2 first place finishes this weekend, and she is actually getting married on Tuesday. In lane number 5, in 3rd place, is Becky Konzelman from Denver, Colorado, and she trains at Front Range CrossFit. She is looking to return to the games this summer. That will make it 3 years in a row. In lane number 7, in 2nd place, is Natalie McLean from Avon, Colorado. She trains at CrossFit Venture, and she won the first event of the weekend, Jackie. In lane number 6, in 1st place, is Tiffany Hendrickson from Layton, Utah. She trains at Wasatch CrossFit. She won the overhead squat event and has finished in the top 4 in every single event this weekend. Josh, if your body has been hammered from the previous 6 workouts, just like these ladies have, to borrow a line from the Eagles, how do you take it to the limit one more time?
Well, JJ, this is everything you've been training for this entire year. It comes down to this moment.
And event number 7 is underway. It is a couplet. 4 rounds for time. 2 15-foot rope climbs, a 100-foot sprint, 4 squat cleans at 135 pounds. There's a 10-minute time cap on this workout. And Josh, the event record on this workout was set by Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet. what is the time that these ladies want to take down?
That's 4 minutes and 8 seconds. That is a blazing time. They're going to have to go unbroken on the cleans and get up and down that rope super fast in order to be able to do that.
Okay, the fastest time today at this regional was set by Sarah Butler, 5 minutes and 11 seconds. These ladies are starting in on their first round of squat cleans. They've got to perform 4 at 135 pounds.
And JJ, that 5'11" earlier set by Butler to come into play here, as there needs to be some spacing between athletes for some of the top 3 to fall out of those spots. Emily Moore in 4th place needs a great workout herself and a little help from her friends to create that gap on the leaderboard.
And the first lady back to the rope for her second round is Miller, and she is blazing through those squat cleans. In lane number 9, Ashley Miller up the rope, and now she only has one more rope climb. Hendrickson in lane 6, efficient on her rope climb. You can expect Natalie McLean in lane 7 to do the exact same thing. And here comes Ashley Miller. She's jumping out to the lead.
Going out to a blistering pace. We'll see if she can maintain this. Hopefully she didn't go out too hard. Let's take a look at her cleans here. Getting set up, real important to get yourself set up, get calm, get the back tight, then she's gonna jump that weight up.
Looks like you see Lindsay Cascarena going to her barbell for the second round of 4 squat cleans, followed closely by Tiffany Hendrickson, but Tiffany takes no pause and grabs the bar and goes. So right now, Ashley Miller is our leader, followed closely by several ladies. Right behind Ashley Miller in the white tank top and black headband is Emily Moore. Right behind her in the red top is Tiffany Hendrickson. And Ashley Miller is off to start her 3rd round, 2 rope climbs and 4 squat cleans.
Let's run back and forth. It's important to collect yourself and recover. Don't go too fast on that run, so you don't want to pause at the rope or the barbell at the opposite end.
So Tiffany Hendrickson in the red shirt, red top, right behind Ashley Miller. I don't know if she'll be able to catch her, because Ashley Miller is bound and determined to come in first in this heat. Got 1 rope climb down. This is her second one.
She goes, notice she's laying back, getting her feet high up on that rope, grabbing the rope with her feet and essentially squatting her way up with her legs. Little combination of upper and lower body. If you use your lower body correctly on that rope climb, makes it much easier, particularly as they get into more and more reps through the rounds.
This is Ashley Miller's 3rd round, and Tiffany Hendrickson right behind her. This is her second rope climb on her 3rd round.
Just so well-rounded. She's been at the top in every single event. Fitness level, covering those general physical skills.
Yeah,
Work capacity across broad, time, and modal domains. She's been demonstrating that all weekend.
Yeah, she hasn't placed worse than 4th in any one event the entire weekend. So Ashley Miller on her 3rd set of 4 squat cleans. The weight on the bar is 135 pounds. The time to beat set to date was 5 minutes and 11 seconds, set by Sarah Butler. If these ladies want to take down the event record, they've got to hustle. I don't think it's going to happen, but that was set by Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet at 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Right now we're at 3 minutes and, well, right now we're at 4 minutes, so that won't happen. But Ashley Miller is starting in on her 4th and final round. 2 rope climbs right now. These will be her last 2 rope climbs. She is our leader.
Impressive performance here. Again, getting those feet way high up on the rope, a little rock back and go.
Tiffany Hendrickson in 2nd place. If she comes in 2nd in this workout, that will really essentially cement her spot to go to the games this summer.
Absolutely.
And Tiffany Hendrickson, she's shown over the course of the weekend she's proficient at these body weight movements. And here comes Ashley Miller on her last round. She's going to run across the field of play 100 feet, do 4 squat cleans, jump on the red mat, and her workout will be over.
See how she does here. This is body weight for her. She's doing body weight another 4 reps here. That'll be 16 squat cleans at body weight in a very short amount of time.
And there goes Tiffany Hendrickson crossing the floor for the last time. You see Natalie McLean. And there's Tiffany Hendrickson in the red top as she approaches her last set of 4 squat cleans.
So JJ, that The time from earlier from Butler is going to stand. Sarah Butler is going to win this event, not this heat, obviously. She's going to win the event from an earlier heat.
So Sarah Butler got it done earlier on. Ashley
Tori
Miller,
Smith
by
making
winning
a
this
run,
heat, could
making
still
a run
take
here by
second.
going through the
Yep.
cleans.
And Ashley Miller steps on the mat. Unofficial time, 5 minutes and 36 seconds. Lori Smith snuck in second place, pulled ahead of Tiffany Hendrickson, who will take third in this heat. So Lori Smith, great job on her part, pulled ahead with those squat cleans. Now we've got several women finishing. That was Bobby Heaney in lane number 12 finishing her workout. High fives all the way around. We've got Becky Konsman in lane number 5 in the black shirt. Looks like a red headband. Right behind her, Lindsay Cascarena in the black tank top. Several ladies closing out the final few squat cleans. And Emily Moore will jump on the mat with an unofficial time, 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Natalie McLean finishes an unofficial time of 6 minutes and 26 seconds. So several ladies coming in, all one right after another. I don't think it'll shake up the leaderboard too much.
Now, Emily Moore needed to beat McLean and Konzelman to move up that leaderboard, but I don't think she beat them by enough. Not enough people in between those finishes there.
There is your winner for this heat, Ashley Miller. The results aren't final yet, but it looks like she'll probably take second in this workout. So Becky Konzelman in the red headband struggling with her final squat clean at 135 pounds.
Now she needs to finish this workout. If she doesn't finish, if she can't get this rep, she will lose her spot to the games.
We're at 7 minutes and 14 seconds into the workout. There's a 10-minute time
She's got
cap.
to stay tight. Elbows up. That's
And
an ugly
she does
squat,
get it.
but it gets
So,
it done.
Unofficial time, 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So she can breathe easy. Her competition is now over for the weekend. And it looks like she's probably safe. We don't know the official results yet. And let's go back to the studio. That will conclude the women's competition here for event number 7. Back to you, Sean.
Well, thanks, Justin. So Becky Konzelman struggling there at the end. We'll have to wait for the official results, but that shows you what can happen when we have this increased field in the final event like we haven't had in past regionals. Things can get juggled up a bit. Again, we don't know the official results yet, but there's a possibility
I'm
here.
not used to seeing Becky look like that. I mean, she was dancing that barbell, you know, into the other competitor's lane or whatnot, and then even struggling with the squat. And we have to say, day 3, how many reps, all the weight, all. I mean, these competitors are beat up, whether they make it look easy or not. Their bodies have taken a beating.
Well, and if you look at Becky struggled with some back issues last year at last year's regionals. She didn't have a great deadlift box jump workout. She took the deadlifts a little bit slow. The way that she was squatting the bar by not going to the squat clean, power clean the bar, and then each kind of squatting with her knees forward to keep her back really upright. I'm guessing something's going on there with her low back, and she's just doing the best that she could. Because that's not bad how Becky normally moves.
Right. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's back out to Salt Lake City. We'll hear from the 3 women who are going to the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games in Carson, California. Stay with us. Our live coverage continues.
I know my body, and my body knows what it wants. I want to stay healthy, so I take vitamin C. Ultrient C delivers high-performance vitamin C in a powerful new way. Because Ultrient C is pure vitamin C, right where my body needs it most. My body wants to deliver all of my strength, all of my drive, all of my focus, all of my heart.
A healthy lifestyle begins with Altriant. Order now and save at Altriant.com.
I think what's cool is you only get better by training with other people. The intensity level is high. The drive and the push is 10 times greater. Some people might train by themselves, but we really represent like coming together as a community, pushing yourself. So it's this huge camaraderie and accountability. When you feel like your mind is getting weak, it just gets you built up even that much more and push you harder when you see someone else in the way.
Yeah! Alright, so I need more core to extremity. Yeah! No. Yes! No. Yeah! Let's not scream like that. Yes! No. You really want to come from the diaphragm. And get it. Yeah! Yeah! Now kiss the baby.
Goodness, Josh Bridges absolutely hammered those big guys. Unbelievable, look at this. Crushing the time by a minute. He took that time by a minute.
Okay, fucking.
Welcome back to the live CrossFit Games update show, and we have our first shocker of the day. Becky Conzelman is now on the outside looking in. She will not return to the CrossFit Games as an individual competitor.
And delay the wedding, right?
Yeah.
Emily Moore needs time to train for the
You can't get
games.
married, Emily. You got to start training for the games.
Day 3, upsets, no cuts. I mean, big shifts. This is why we're watching live.
How much of a recovery time was a factor for Becky Conzelman here?
Well, I mean, I think that's too hard to say. Something was up, cleans were different, but the bottom line is, without any cuts, shakes up the leaderboard. You can't put yourself out after event 6.
Let's head back to the Salt Lake City Olympic Oval, where the 3 ladies who are heading to Carson, California are standing by live.
All right, thank you, Sean, and let's go to the competition floor. Clay is standing by with the 3 women that have qualified for the CrossFit Games.
Thank you, Justin. A little bit of suspense here, and guess who's standing next to me? Emily Moore. That was a little bit of a maybe surprise just a few seconds ago.
It was very shocking. Didn't think it was coming down to that last workout, so I was really glad to be here.
We talked about this on day 1. You said it was your goal to crack into the top 3, and here you are. How does it feel?
Number 3, perfect. I'm happy. Couldn't have asked for a better weekend.
Well, what's your plan in the next month or so? Well, you're getting yourself set for the games.
Set for the games, married on Tuesday. Just training hard, hopefully with some friends now.
Congrats, Emily. We're going over to Natalie McLean. Awesome performance this weekend. You crushed the last event. How does this feel? Number 2 and headed to the game.
I can't believe it. It's amazing. It was not easy. I had to work my butt off, and I'm just thankful to be here and injury-free, and it's unreal. It's awesome.
Congratulations, Natalie, going from Vail, and we're going to talk to the winner from the Southwest regions, Tiffany. You had control over it the whole time. How does this feel?
It's amazing. It's something that I've been training really hard for the past couple years, so it's just awesome to realize a dream.
Number 5 last year out of the region. They just missed the cut. This year, you're going, baby.
That's right. That's right. All the strength training paid off.
Absolutely. Well, way to work on it, and we'll look forward to watching the games. I'm sending it back to Justin. Ladies, congratulations.
Thanks, Clay, and congratulations to those 3 ladies. That will conclude our coverage of the women's competition for the Southwest Regional. Don't go anywhere. The men are next. Sean, back to you in the studio.
Yeah, we have 3 completely new people now. I mean, that's one of the great things about these regionals that we've seen the past couple of weeks is that new faces who now get to be on the big stage with the elite.
Yeah, and these women have been in the mix for the past couple years. Natalie McLean, I know that last year she had a beautiful Diane to kick it off, and then she wasn't able to snatch the 70-pound dumbbell. Obviously, massive change went down. She said she worked for every bit of it. Emily Moore took 4th place last year. I was having a small heartbreak there, thinking she was taking 4th again this year, but she's going. She's earned every bit of that. I know our coach Zach Pine and everyone at Verve is super happy and proud of her. And then Tiffany Hendrickson obviously struggled with some injuries last year, so just a great story for all of these women.
3 new faces. It's so awesome. I can't stop smiling about Emily Moore. I'm such a huge fan from working out with her in Denver. I'm so stoked for her. And again, the other 2 women, McLean and Hendrickson, you know, Moore's getting married here in a couple of days, and Hendrickson, of course, is a mother of 3, and she actually sacrificed. She said her younger brother is actually having his wedding this weekend of regionals. She had to go ahead and put that on the back burner and focus and, you know, rely on her family for support, and she earned it. She's going number 1.
And Becky Conzelman on the outside looking in, but still somewhat of a happy ending for her. She is a master, and she can't compete at that level. We go from the new faces to a very familiar face on the men's side. Chris Spieler, out of retirement, trying to make his 7th appearance at the CrossFit Games. He's going to have to do some work today, but first let's take a look back at the first 2 days of the competition at the Southwest Regional.
Could Chris Spieler make it to his 7th CrossFit Games? That was the question heading into the Southwest Regional. He would have to hold off a host of challengers if he wanted to make it back to Carson. Matt Chan was also looking to make another trip to the Games after finishing 2nd last year. He came out and won Jackie with a time of 5:13. Matt Hathcock was 6 seconds back in 2nd place. Chris Spieler would tie for 3rd with a time of 5:20. Event 2 belonged to Jacob Hutton. He hit 3:05 3 times to take the win. Chris Hoppy was 2nd after getting 3 reps at 295 pounds. Matt Chan kept himself on top of the overall leaderboard with a tie for 3rd. Chris Spieler would finish 14th after 2 reps at 255. Spieler would follow that up with a win in Event 3. He made a run at Kenneth Leveridge's event record of 4:11. Spieler would fall short by 8 seconds, but he would go on to win the event. Matt Chan was 2nd despite finishing more than a minute behind Spieler. As a result, Matt Chan sat atop the leaderboard after 3 events. Chris Spieler was in 2nd. Matt Hathcock was just 1 point back in 3rd. Chan and the other top athletes would take on the 100s at the start of day 2. Zach Forrest would get the win after making up ground on the dumbbell snatches. He finished with a time of 23:52. Chan would hang on to 1st place overall with a 2nd place finish. Chris Spieler would get in just under the time cap at 24:55. He would finish 4th. That would keep him in 2nd place overall heading into Event 5. But Spieler would drop out of the top 3 after the deadlifts and box jumps. He would finish 9th with a time of 5:18. That would open the door for Matt Hathcock. His time of 5:11 tied him for 6th and moved him past Spieler into 3rd place overall. Peter Edgen would win the event with a time of 4:07. Matt Chan would suffer his worst finish of the weekend. He placed 14th.
So after 2 days of competition, Chris Spieler sitting in 4th place. It just could never be easy for him. It's always got to be this big dramatic production on the last day. He always has to fight his way in, it seems like.
Well, we get to hear through the grapevine, Tyson and Miranda Oldroyd are out there, get to talk to Spiel, and they said they were hanging out with him last night in the area, and he's just kind of saying, he's like, why do I always have to do this? Why can't I just have a regional where I'm just sitting in 1st place comfortably by like 30 points? It's always this dramatic fashion, but, I mean, that's why people love him. That's why he's the underdog. I mean, you have athletic potential, you have the work you put in the gym, but then, like, between the years, Chris Spieler is just one of those guys that you can't quantify what it is, but he shows up every single solitary day, and he's going to show up on day 3.
Yeah, it's also a testament to how just well-developed the Southwest region of men's competitors has become over the past couple of years, where, yes, he's had to fight to stay at the top, but fighting against Matt Chan every single year is not necessarily, oh, it's just easy and I wish I had 30 points. I mean, there's a serious person there staying with the 1st place spot.
So Chris Spieler showed up this morning at the Olympic Oval needing to do some work, and he had a chance to make up some ground in event number 6. The athletes taking the floor, and Pat, Spieler knew he had to do well in this one.
He didn't have to do well. He had to win this. Even the commentators calling the event, they're like, if Spiel wants a chance, he needs a number 1 victory. And I'll tell you what, he's the only one out there. That barbell is more than his body weight, putting it overhead and lunging it.
And he comes up with a huge win, 8 minutes, 41 seconds. Meanwhile, Matt Hathcock on the left and lane 5 on the right, Matt Chan. Hathcock takes the advantage and finishes 3rd. Matt Chan finishes in 4th, and Hathcock was absolutely gassed here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was like the race in slow motion with those lunges. I mean, and Hutton just squeezed in right before Hathcock. Same thing happened with Zach Forrest, where Nichols came in 2-second lead over Zach and took just a 1 point away from him.
Yeah, Forrest finishes in 7th place. He's one of the men trying to get into the top 3. So right now it's Chan, Hathcock, Spieler. Zach Forrest is just 3 points back. And here we go again for the final event for Chris Spieler.
This is like a redo from last year almost.
Yeah, I mean, Spiel did exactly what he needed to do on event number 6, and quite frankly, Zach did exactly what he didn't need to do. So as much as Spiel won it, Zach lost it, and that's going to greatly affect event number 7.
No,
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, if you look at just what we saw with the women, again, it's just wide open.
Well, Chris Spieler needs to hang on. He's got to hold off Zach Forrest. Let's send it out to Southwest for Justin Judkins and Josh Everett for the call.
Thank you, Sean. Welcome to day 3 of the Southwest Regional. It has all come down to this. This is the 7th and final event of the men's competition here at the Utah Olympic Oval. In 2002, this facility hosted some of the best athletes from around the world for some of the skating events in the Winter Olympics. Today, it is where some of the best athletes in the Southwest will battle it out for one of 3 qualifying spots for the CrossFit Games this summer. And ever since 2010, when Rich Froning struggled with the rope climb, most smart athletes have worked at that. So I don't think we're going to see the rope climb pose a problem for any athlete here. Let's meet our competitors in the 4th heat. In lane number 12, in 12th place, is Chris Stowe from Midvale, Utah. He trains at CrossFit 801 and placed 12th at last year's regional. In lane number 1, in 11th place, is Brandon Miracle from Denver, Colorado. He trains at CrossFit Surge and placed 8th at last year's regional. In lane number 11 and in 10th place is Danny Nichols from Scottsdale, Arizona. He's been competing on a team for the last few years up in the Northwest Regional. In lane 2 and in 9th place is Pat Burke from Broomfield, Colorado. He owns and trains at CrossFit at MBS CrossFit. He's competed in the last 5 CrossFit Games. Lane number 10 in 8th place is Sean Hazelton from Tucson, Arizona. He trains at Good Times CrossFit, placed 17th at last year's regional. In lane number 3, in 7th place, is Chris Hoppy from Colorado Springs. He trains at Progressive Fitness CrossFit, and he won the regional in 2010. In lane number 9, in 6th place, is Peter Edgett from Goodyear, Arizona. He owns and trains at CrossFit Fury. Several times Games competitor. In lane number 4, in 5th place, is Jacob Hutton from Cedar City, Utah. He trains at CrossFit Cedar City. He started doing CrossFit before this year's Open. Played football at USU, Utah State University. In lane 8, in 4th place, is Zach Forrest from Las Vegas, Nevada. He owns and trains at CrossFit Max Effort. Been to the Games 2 times before. His best finish was in 2011. He placed 12th. In lane number 5, in 3rd place, is Chris Spieler from Park City, Utah. He owns and trains at CrossFit Park City. Competed in every single CrossFit Games to date. In lane number 7, in 2nd place, is Matt Hathcock from Inglewood, Colorado. He trains at CrossFit Unbroken. He has placed 4th at the last 2 regionals. In lane number 6, in 1st place, is Matt Chan from Denver, Colorado. He owns and trains at CrossFit Verve. He was last year's Southwest Regional Champion, and he placed 2nd at the CrossFit Games. Josh, if you are on the bubble for earning a spot to the Games like a few guys in this heat, namely Zach Forrest, how do you prepare yourself for this event?
Well, you've got a strategy going into this event. At some point, you have to stick to that strategy, but you also have to be aware of what your competitors are doing and react to that.
This event is underway. These athletes will do 4 rounds for time, 2 15-foot rope climbs, a 100-foot sprint, 4 squat cleans at 225 pounds. There's a 10-minute time cap. Danny Nichols is out to a fast start as he approaches the bar for his first set of 4 squat cleans.
Yeah, Danny Nichols, someone that can win this event. I imagine he'll go touch and go reps for all the squat cleans.
The time to beat today at this regional was set by Brennan Ford, 4 minutes, 59 seconds. If these guys want to take down the event record, they're looking at beating Spencer Hendel's time, 4 minutes and 11 seconds. He's multitasking, taking off the shirt, loosening the belt as he's running back to the rope for his second round. That's Danny Nichols in lane number 1. Lane number 11.
Zach Forrest in the green shirt in the middle of your screen needs a strong finish here if he wants to overtake that third spot.
Not only does he need a strong finish, he needs to place 4 places ahead of Chris Spieler if he wants to do that. So keep your eye on lane number 8 in the green shirt, Zach Forrest. This is Danny Nichols as he runs across that floor one more time. This will be a second set of squat cleans at 225. Chris Spieler in the red shirt. Matt Chan in the white shirt. In the pink shirt is Matt Hathcock. So once again, Zach Forrest in the green shirt has to place 4 ahead of Chris Spieler if he hopes to make it to the CrossFit Games this summer.
This workout's all about how fast can you cycle through those cleans. Mr. Nichols doing a very good job here.
Not having any problems with 225 pounds.
He might be challenging that event record by Spencer Hendel at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. He's looking pretty good at this point.
He's starting to slow down a little bit on that run. We're just approaching the 2-minute mark, so he is setting a blazing pace for these first couple rounds. This is his third round, 2 rope climbs, 4 squat cleans. Efficient on the rope climb. And then right behind Danny Nichols, we've got several athletes going neck and neck. You've got Peter Edgett in lane 9 in the black shirt. You've got Zach Forrest, green shirt. Matt Hathcock in the pink shirt. So Peter trying to push it and catch up to Danny Nichols without the shirt on in lane number 11. These guys are setting a fast pace. I mean, we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this workout. Time to beat 4 minutes and 59 seconds.
Looking a little fatigued. We'll see if he can
Ford.
continue to do touch and go reps or if he's going to have to drop that barbell to rest a little bit.
Matt Hathcock in the pink shirt on his third round of 4 squat cleans. Danny Nichols has got a slight edge over Matt Hathcock, but not by much. Danny Nichols has 2 reps left, and I think Matt Hathcock now has 2 reps left. So it looks like, wow, this is fast and this is close. Look at Chris Spieler just pounding out those
Spieler's
squat
starting to
cleans
struggle a
at
little bit.
225.
Usually one of our most efficient lifters. He's going to need that efficiency here.
Matt Hathcock drops the bar on that number 4. He's running back across the field, and he could catch Danny Nichols on this one if he can keep pushing the pace. This will be his first CrossFit Games if Matt Hathcock continues this pace.
He keeps
the last
his
2
pace,
years
he's
he's
in.
placed 4th.
He's also got a shot to overtake Chan for first place overall and win this region.
That would be an amazing comeback after placing 4th the last 2 years at the regional. This is Matt Hathcock. He said he's got a baby on the way, and that's where the priority lies. But he's not showing that now. He is making this workout a priority.
Matt Chan's got to be watching that pink shirt, saying, I can't let him get too far ahead of me.
And this is Chris Spieler, who needs to have a strong showing. He has to place ahead of Zach Forrest, and right now he's behind a little bit. We're just past the 4-minute mark in this workout, so it doesn't look like Matt Hathcock will beat the record of 4 minutes and 11 seconds set by Spencer Hendel. But he's going to come close. He's got 1 rep left. Zach Forrest in the green shirt right behind Matt Hathcock. Zach is doing exactly what he needs to do. And Matt Hathcock will take first in this event. 4 minutes and 24 seconds unofficial time.
Now the race is to see how many places end up between Zach Forrest and Chris Spieler. If it's 4 or more, Zach Forrest is going to the games. Spieler's got to get on that bar and keep going.
And Zach Forrest
All right,
will
let's
do
count
his
now.
part.
Let's count.
4 minutes, 42 seconds for Zach Forrest. Matt Chan steps on the mat.
There's
Unofficial
2.
time.
If 2 more people step on the mat before Spiel, 3.
This crowd is going
go?
crazy.
Who's going to go?
They know how much is on the line for Chris Spieler.
I think Spieler
and it is
made
hard to tell. He steps on the mat. Unofficial time. It's hard to see. Around 5 minutes.
Now on the
time
leaderboard,
doesn't matter so much as the
it's
placement.
the positioning. On the leaderboard, port standing, Spieler owns the tiebreaker with Forrest. They
Right.
may end up tied. It may come down to
Spieler
that
would win it
tiebreaker.
on the tiebreaker. Wow,
What
Zach
incredible
Forrest
effort.
came in and he did really exactly what he needed to do. to increase his chances to go to the games this year.
What effort by Chris Spieler.
Matt Chan has been battling all weekend like a warrior, came out blazing, and set the pace early by winning several events.
Unofficially, Matt Chan will be our champion this weekend.
Yeah. Peter Edged, no, excuse me, that's not Peter Edged.
Hazelton, that's Hazelton.
Yeah, this is Jake Hutton, whom I thought would do really well on this workout.
Watch out for him in the future. He's been doing CrossFit for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
This guy's a beast. Could be the next Matt Chan.
He won the overhead squat event. I think it was 305. He got 3 reps. Zach Forrest, Matt Chan, giving each other congratulations.
So I tell you right now, we know unofficially Hathcock and Chan are going to go to the games. We're waiting to see who's got that 3rd spot. Is it going to be Forrest or Spieler?
And here comes Brandon Miracle. This will be his 4th and final set of 4 squat cleans. Jake Hutton just finishing out his last set of 4. Getting some encouragement from great coaches and great competitors. Chris Spieler, Zach Forrest, Matt Chan, how'd you like those guys in your corner coaching you?
Yeah, they're all on the CrossFit Level 1 staff. Excellent coaches, also excellent competitors, obviously.
And Jake will step on the mat. Unofficial time, 6 minutes and 52 seconds. Ooh, that was a fast heat. Brandon Miracle coming in, nailing those 225-pound squat cleans. He's got 3 left. We've got a 10-minute time cap, so he's got a little less than 3 minutes to complete 3 more reps. It looks like all of the athletes in this heat will finish this workout under the time cap. 2 reps left now. Matt Hathcock, who came in, won this event.
Most likely 2nd overall in the competition, going to the games after the last 2 years finishing in 4th spot. It's got to be a great feeling being so close the last 2 years and finally pushing through this year.
And
excellent
trained
job.
Hard this entire year with that one goal in mind. Right next to him, Chris Spieler, the 2 guys that were battling it out for 2nd and 3rd spots. And now they're all over here cheering on and coaching Brandon Miracle.
And the crowd's still involved here too, cheering on this final finisher.
And Brandon will step on the mat. Unofficial time, 7 minutes, 59 seconds. Pat Burke telling him good job. Zach Forrest coming over to say great job too. So, man, Josh, talk about Matt Hathcock's performance in this workout.
Oh, that was unbelievable. He needed a great performance to go to the games. He dug in and got it. Right now, we're going to be checking where the finishers were at. I didn't see where Pat Burke finished. If he finished before Chris Spieler, that could be it for Spieler, and Forrest will go on. We need to see this leaderboard and how it shakes out.
Matt Chan, incredible competitor. Chris Spieler, incredible competitor. We are going to go back to the studio. That will end the men's competition here at the Southwest Regional. Sean, back to you.
Wow, so we know Chan and Hathcock. We don't know the 3rd one yet. But if Spieler doesn't make it, what is? I mean, can you have a CrossFit Games without Chris Spieler? I think it's against the law.
I'm having an emotional response
Let's put a lot
right
of mental
now.
pressure there on Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm furious for JJ for throwing it back to the studio before they figure that out down there. I mean, that's all my mind can wrap out right now. Is Spieler going to the games? I'm happy Chan has won every regional he's competed as an individual competitor. That's insane. And Matt Hathcock, he's wanted it for so long that I'm very, very happy that he's going. You know, I know it means a lot to him, but what the hell's going on with Spiel?
Yeah. Well, we're going to get the answer to that question. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will hear from the 3 men from the Southwest who are going to the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. Stay with us.
Are you coming back next year? As of now, no. This is going to be the last year.
Chris Spieler saluting the crowd at the Home Depot Center for possibly the last time as a competitor at the CrossFit Games.
Ever since he decided to retire, he's been extremely helpful.
Hey, I'm going to grab the mail real quick.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
job on those 400s today, of course.
Cheers, well done on the lifting.
Shocker. You want to settle this?
Come on, then.
Let's go.
Come on, Venezuela, put your back into it.
I am! Speak American!
It's English, you daft bastard.
I will snatch you, so God help me.
Gotta catch me first, biatch.
Ugh.
Life doesn't care where you're going or how you get there. Sometimes you have to push, pull, or fight through it. It's not always perfect, and it doesn't come easy. Life simply asks that you join it.
Welcome back. It's deja vu all over again, except for the end result. Last year, Spieler scrambles, gets in on the last day. This year, unable to get it done. He finishes 4th. He will not be going to the games this year.
I just want to take my toys and go home, honestly. Like, I'm so utterly bummed out and depressed right now. It's, I mean, it has to happen, right? I mean, no one can stay in the limelight forever and ever, so you know it's coming, but I just didn't want it to come today. No. Like, I wanted his 7th trip to the games and that dramatic finish we're always used to. It was just ready for the taking, but just didn't happen.
No, it didn't. And, you know, taking nothing away from Chris Spieler, we do have to give credit to Zach Forrest. I mean, he's worked his butt off to get back to where he was. And the bottom line is that, you know, I know this is hitting home to Zach. I travel a lot on the weekends with Zach and the Level 1 seminar staff, and one of the biggest things Zach has had to work on is his mental game, seeing Chris Spieler and Matt Chan having to compete against these two just giants of the sport. And it's almost bittersweet that he's worked on that mental capacity throughout the past year, and he beats Chris to take a spot.
So it's Matt Chan, Hathcock, and Zach Forrest who are heading to Carson, California for the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. Let's send it back out to Salt Lake City. The 3 of them are standing by.
Let's go to the competition floor. Clay is standing by with the 3 athletes that have qualified for the CrossFit Games in July.
Justin, thank you so much. Hey, a bit of nice deal for you, Zach. It looks like you're qualifying 3rd out of the Southwest region to head to the games.
Barely. I still can't believe it. Chris he's a legend. He can't be killed, and it hasn't sunk in yet. Yeah.
Talk to me about how important it is to you to be going back to the games after 1 year away. You were 5th last year.
Yeah, it's extremely important. Sorry, I'm like at a loss of words still. It's from all the people that support me, and I draw my inspiration from them. So I think, you know, if it means a lot to me, it means a lot to them. That just I can't put into words right now.
Congratulations, Zach. Okay, we're heading over to Matt Hathcock. Matt, you've been on the fringe for the last 2 years. You're going this year, 2nd place out of the Southwest.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and I tell you what, how good does it feel to be amongst this elite group of athletes in here today?
I mean, it's really good. You know, these guys are CrossFit heroes, and I've been just under the cusp for so long. It feels like that. Like, it's even hard just to believe that you're capable of being up there with them. So.
And games is timing with the birth of a child. Is that true?
Yeah, daughter is coming in the next month, and then hopefully it doesn't interfere with training too much.
Congratulations, Matt.
It won't.
And the tale of 2 Matts here is Matt Chan again, 2nd last year, and you're going 1st qualifier out of the region again. This has got to feel good.
That's awesome, man. It's great. I had a really rough year. You know, I had a couple knee problems, each knee, and it was 4 months of just hanging out, wondering if I could make it back. And to qualify out of this region first, holy crap. You know, hey, got a couple months left, guys. Let's beat them.
Talk to me quickly about Spieler.
I don't even know what to say. He's like a brother, like a family. Their family is like my family. So sad to see him not go. But I will tell you this. That man fights harder than anybody I know. He'll be back. He'll be back, and he'll fight to get a spot again.
Matt, and Zach heading to the games. Justin, take it away.
Thank you, Clay. Congrats to Chan, Hathcock, and Forrest. That concludes our coverage of the men's competition for the Southwest Regional. Josh, was that amazing or what?
That was an amazing heat, amazing weekend of competition. Sorry to see Spieler not make it on, but he went out like a champion.
Yes, he did. For Clay Dahlman, Josh Everett, I'm Justin Judkins. Thanks for joining us. Sean, back to you.
Thanks, Justin. Now, lost in all the Spieler drama is the fact that Matt Chan wins his region again, and you heard him talk about a lot of question marks for him heading into this thing.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with Matt is a lot of folks don't know this, but with Matt's double knee issue throughout the year, that was a tremendous setback in a way that a lot of us don't even know. I ran into Matt in an airport in Texas about 7 or so months ago, and he was hobbling around saying that he had just had this procedure done on both of his knees, and he'd been in a wheelchair being wheeled around for about 5 days beforehand. And now if you think about, yes, he's a tremendous athlete. He's come so far. He got second in the CrossFit Games, but to have that much of a setback and then be back where he was this weekend, I mean, again, athletes just doing incredible things and working for every ounce of what they're getting.
And dealing with other adversity, everyone might not know this, but him and his wife, Cherie, sold their home in Denver, bought an Airstream trailer, and for about the last calendar year, have been driving around the U.S., living in different cities, eating wherever you can. They have weights in the back of their truck. They would just set up weights in some random RV park, and that's where Matt would train for the games, get the workouts from his coach. So
constantly varied.
Yeah, what he had to, he did not have a great year to win his regional again with the knee surgery and just his living conditions, and for him to have the discipline to, under that stress, pull it off. I mean, that's why he is who he is.
And let's not take anything away from Zach Forrest.
Absolutely not.
He was on the outside looking in. He knew he had an uphill battle, and for him to be able to pull that off, we've got to give some credit to him as well.
Last year actually, there's a good story actually. At the games last year, he was a judge, and they were doing a practice round of the event, and he was kind of the runner. And Dave Castro, as he's running around, he says, "And there's Zach Forrest, who failed to qualify for the games." And I think it just sort of got under Zach's skin just a little bit. Dave said something like that. It got under Zach's skin, but I also remember Zach saying last year that when he got to that last event, obviously we know that last event was thrilling last year. That he looked at the field and said, I think everyone's better than me. So he did a lot of work this year. Obviously, that last event did something different, and he went out with a bang.
Yep, everyone has to address their weaknesses, whether it's something between your ears, mental fortitude, or it's your Olympic lifts, or whatever it happens to be. So good on Zach for digging in where he needed to.
Yeah. Well, there was also a team competition going on in the Southwest, if you want to call it a competition. There was one team that really ran away with the whole thing, and it was the defending Affiliate Cup champs, Hacks Pack. Coming into the day, they'd won every single event, and they'd set 4 records in the process. And today, guess what? They got another one, event 6. They would win that, and then they would go on to event 7, and then they would set another event record. So what's going to stop these guys?
Honestly, I don't know if anything can. I mean, sweeping your region in that manner is ridiculous to the point of being offensive. These guys don't seem to have any competition on the 4 corners of the globe.
I mean, and you also look at the depth of the competition. They've been competing against one of the top other teams that go to the games each year, Front Range CrossFit, and they just decimated the competition.
So it's Hacks Pack. They are going back to the games to defend their Affiliate Cup championship. And right now, it looks like they are primed to do just that as they win every single event. And they set 6 records in the process. They would have had all 7. They had the record in Jackie. That only lasted for a couple hours, though, because CrossFit Fort Vancouver in the Northwest got a hold of that and beat that. So
the question was, were they going to be able to do what New England did in 2011? And the answer was a resounding yes. And given all the event records that they set, they did an even better job.
And they really have kind of put together the dream team. They have 3 former Games competitors, individual competitors, on their team, and they just get better every year.
So we have all the official results in from the men, women, and teams competition for the Southwest Regional. Here's who's going to Carson. Matt Chan, he's going back. Matt Hathcock and Zach Forrest. Tiffany Hendrickson, 3 newcomers for the women. Natalie McLean and Emily Moore, they're making their first trips. Then how about this? We talked about Hacks Pack, the team we all know, but Front Range is in there, and then another team from Ute CrossFit is going to the games as well.
I mean, what I want to see is I want to see that same thing happen at the big show, out at the CrossFit Games. I mean, that's ridiculous if both teams made it to the big show. I mean, but come on, the world stage is waiting.
Yeah, that's going to make for some tense moments at that gym if that plays. That'll be a lot of fun to be around. When we come back, the other 2 regionals going on this weekend, Asia and Northwest, will have the highlights and recap from those.
always got to believe that you can do it. I tell that to people. It might not happen today, it might not happen this week, it might not happen next week, it might not even happen next year. But if you believe that it'll happen, you can do it, it will happen. It will. I know it will. I might not be the fastest, I might not be the most gymnasty out there, but I'll tell you what, I'm never going to stop. Ever stop believing in what I can do. No one can take that away from me.
Down, 1 to go as we enter the final week of the road to the fittest. The elite from the Mid-Atlantic, Central East, Canada West, and Latin America are out to prove that they can all work the best. In the Mid-Atlantic, Games veterans Ben Smith and Nate Schrader tower above the rest, while training partners Christy Phillips and Gretchen Kugelberger await new challengers. Latin America's Teresa Barnett looks to continue her dominance, while Peru's shining sun, Orlando Trail, seeks redemption in 2013. In Canada West, Emily Beers has her sights set on Carson after narrowly missing the games in 2012. The man, Jeremy Meredith, looks to reclaim the podium. Momentum of the Meredith winner may be unstoppable. The Central East region has packed with power, potential, and the greatest champion of all, Richmond Jr. Only the best of them all. This is the regionals.
So Central East next week, the final time that a lot of athletes are going to have to assault those records, and I'm guessing that we're going to see some of them fall with that group there.
Kind of save the best for last in a way, right?
It's like a mini games watching the boys throw down out there in Central East. But don't forget, I mean, on the Mid-Atlantic, Ben Smith always mops up his region, so it's not just a Central East show, but I'm sure all eyes will be there.
Well, in case you are just now joining us, Chris Spieler unfortunately will not be returning to the CrossFit Games. He finished 4th in the Southwest Regional in the final event. He was on the outside looking in after that result. Let's go back to the Southwest Regional. Josh Everett is standing by with Chris Spieler.
Thanks, Sean. This is Josh Everett on the competition floor with CrossFit legend and hero Chris Spieler. The man has competed at all previous 6 CrossFit Games, came up just a little bit short this weekend. Chris, 2 points out of that 3rd slot. Can you just tell us a little bit about your experience this weekend and how you're feeling and you know, what it's like to be the competitor that you've been these last 7 years?
Yeah, I think it's just an honor. You know, the sport's grown so much and things have evolved so much and changed so much, and you know, I leave with no regrets. Disappointed, sure. Is it tough? Sure. But absolutely no regrets, and the guys that are going deserve it.
Absolutely. I know for me, sitting back there watching, I enjoyed the way you compete, the way you approach it, your attitude. You know, yesterday didn't go so well. There was, you know, discrepancy with the judging, getting some no reps. The way you handled that was so professional. Can you talk to us a little bit about kind of that camaraderie that all the athletes feel, and kind of what you get not only from the other competitors but the people in the stands? I know you mean so much to us as fans of the sport.
Yeah, I think you know, the competitors, you know, for most of us it's, you know, like a brotherhood almost. Some of us are closer than others, but generally it's just you know, shared suffering. Anytime you do that in any realm, it brings people closer. And I mean, what the community has brought to me is, like, I cannot thank you enough. I cannot, like, express to you how much that means to me. Like, just walking out on the floor and hearing people back me is so emotional. Like, it's tremendous what the community has given me. So it's just an honor, man. It's welcome to competing, welcome to sports, you know.
Well, Chris, we thank you, because trust me, you've given the community much more than we could ever give you. You're such an inspiration. And thank you. We'll be sending it back to the studio, back to Sean.
So for people who've been around the sport for a while, they know, yes, they know Chris Spieler. We love him. He's an inspiration to everyone. But if you're new, why is it that Chris Spieler means so much to this community?
Well, I mean, Chris Spieler is CrossFit. I mean, he really is. I mean, CrossFit is full of individuals that love and respect hard work and, you know, making yourself better each and every day. And it's really tough to outwork Chris Spieler. And on top of that, he just seems to defy the odds. And who doesn't like the underdog story? You know, there's so many people out there that are like, I want to do this, I'm not big enough, I need to do it. And then you see Christian like, oh, all my excuses just went away, because what he seems to do with the frame that he has doesn't seem to make sense. You know, when you're 151 pounds and you walk out on a squat clean workout that weighs 225 and the over 200-pound guys are scared of you, that's not normal. I mean, you have a certain something about you, and Chris Spieler has it. And on top of that, try to beat him as far as being humble goes, and you can't. So, I mean, he even thanked the community right there. So that's Chris Spieler in a nutshell. Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the thing with Chris is that he embodies everything every individual wants to get out of CrossFit. They want to work harder, they want to develop their weaknesses, they want to be better on the gym floor and off the gym floor, and we've seen that with Chris over the past 7 years. And it's not that this has come to an end. He's still going to be the great Chris Spieler that he is, and he'll have 6 instead of 7 in a row. But let's not remember that we've got 2014.
Exactly.
Well, Chris Spieler not representing the Southwest region, he definitely will be missed at the CrossFit Games. There are 2 other regionals going on this weekend. Rory McKernan recaps the regional competition over in South Korea.
The men led off the weekend with Jackie. Michael Mogard made quick work of the triplet, running away with the event in 5:26. Mogard added another top 5 finish in the second event, where he hit 3 good reps at 265, good enough for 4th place. Event 3 proved to be the most difficult of the day, with only 11 men able to complete 30 burpee muscle-ups under the 7-minute time cap. Michael Mogard added to his lead by finishing 2nd with a time of 5:08. On day 2, Michael Mogard continued his charge. He began the day by taking 3rd in Event 4 with a time of 25:32. Despite a 12th place finish in Event 5, his worst performance of the weekend, Michael Mogard was able to finish day 2 in a familiar spot atop the leaderboard. On day 3, Michael Mogard put it in cruise control for the last 2 events. An 8th place finish on Event 6 and a 6th place finish on Event 7 were good enough to solidify his trip to California in July. There's a newcomer to the Asian women's competition, and she goes by Taina Tongo. Consistency was the key on day 1 for Nicole Taina Tongo, starting with Jackie. A relaxed row, unbroken thrusters, and 2 short breaks on the pull-up bar scored her the top time of 7:01. 2 more strong finishes on events 2 and 3, the overhead squat ladder and the burpee muscle-ups, launched the Guam native in 2nd place behind veteran Candice Howe heading into day 2. In the hundreds, she cruised through the pull-ups and was well into her snatches when time expired. Again on the deadlifts and box jumps of Event 5, Nicole looked comfortable. She turned in a time of 4:22 and started to run away on the overall leaderboard. After a lukewarm day 2, Candice Howe tried to make a comeback on the final day. She went on a charge in Event 6 but couldn't catch Taina Tongo, who won the event in 12:13. Howe would win the final event with a time of 6 minutes flat, but it was too little too late, and Taina Tongo's 11 total points carried her to victory and earned her a trip to Carson for the 2013 CrossFit Games. The team competition in Asia was all about Reebok CrossFit Asia and CrossFit Misawa. Reebok CrossFit Asia bookended their day 1 with victories in events 1 and 3 to put them on top of the leaderboard at the close of the first day. However, CrossFit Misawa took a victory in Event 2 to remain only 1 point behind. The back and forth battle continued on day 2, where Reebok CrossFit Asia and CrossFit Misawa traded victories on Events 4 and 5. The tension was high on the final day when CrossFit Misawa won Event 6 to move into a tie with Reebok CrossFit Asia heading into the final event. However, Reebok CrossFit Asia was able to finish the competition with a win and stake their claim as the fittest team in Asia.
So Nicole Taina Tongo and Michael Mogard representing the individual competitors in that region. And Nicole Taina Tongo came in, and this is a woman who was on a mission.
I see her as a success story, like I see Alex Nettie a success story. Like, he figured out what he needed to do when he got there. Well, last year, Nicole, after taking 4th at her region, wasn't happy. As we said yesterday, flight home, nausea bag on the plane. Here's the plan. I'm going to execute it, and she's going to the game, so we'll get to see her.
Yep, absolutely. And then Mogard is going with her, and he didn't have a great day 3, but he did enough on the first 2 days to keep him in that first place spot.
Well, the Northwest competition still going on, but the team competition has wrapped up. We have the results from that. It was CrossFit Fort Vancouver, 9 total points for them. And again, if it wasn't for what Hackspack did down in the Southwest, they're the talk of the town right now.
That's the problem with somebody like Hackspack, right? I mean, 9
Stealing the
points.
show.
Yeah, that 9 points is utter domination. No one's close to you. But then you look at Hackspack, you're like, oh, why didn't you get 7?
Yeah, we talked about CrossFit Atlanta did this in week 1. They took home 9 points total, and we thought that was impressive. And then Hackspack comes
The bar's
along.
been raised.
Yes.
So one more regional weekend to go. What are you looking forward to seeing next week?
I mean, honestly,
What
let's
are we
not kid
not
ourselves,
looking forward
right?
to? Yeah.
I mean, whether they want to admit it or not, at least every male competitor out there, somewhere in the back of their mind, is comparing their times on workout or their lifts to Rich Froning Jr. And we're going to get to see that man throw down next week, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for the Mid-Atlantic women. Tanya Wagner has just kind of chipped herself back into that into contention, and I think she's got a legitimate chance to make a run back to the games.
Old champ.
Well, that is going to do it for us in our live coverage of this 3rd weekend of regionals. For Pat Sherwood and Nicole Christensen, I'm Sean Woodland. Thank you so much for joining us.